थोड़ा चख के देखता हूँ। इस पके हुए आम का टेस्ट तो बहुत बेकार है पुलिसवा। मैं तो पहले ही कह रहा था कि ये आम नहीं है, कुछ और है। अरे ये आम ही है, मैं कह रहा हूँ। ये ज्यादा पक गया है इसीलिए कड़वा लग रहा है। रुको अब मैं चख के देखता हूँ। अरे ये तो आम नहीं है, तो क्या है? कुछ और हो सकता है लेकिन ये आम नहीं है।
अरे ये आम नहीं, मेरा पोटी है जो तुम दोनों ने खा लिया।
क्या पोटी? इसका मतलब मैंने पोटी खा लिया। मैं पहले से ही कह रहा था कि ये आम नहीं है, लेकिन डॉक्टरवा तूने मुझे चखवा दिया।
कैसा लगा मेरा पोटी? कहीं उसमें नमक ज्यादा तो नहीं हो गया? अगर नमक तेज हो गया है तो कल सुबह फिर से यहीं आना। कल तुम दोनों को बढ़िया पोटी खिलाऊंगा।
लग रहा है उल्टी हो जाएगी। कोई पानी दे दो रे। कहाँ है पानी? अरे रुक जा, मुझे भी पानी चाहिए। कुल्ला करना है।
और लगाओ मुझे इंजेक्शन। देखो कैसे भाग रहे हैं वो दोनों।
तालाब कहाँ है? अरे नदी नाला कहाँ है? तू मुझसे क्यों पूछ रहा है? तू देख रहा है कि उस लौंडे की टट्टी मेरे आंखों पे चिपक गई है। मैं तो कुछ देख भी नहीं पा रहा हूँ। तू दूर ही रह मुझसे। हुई 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 हुई, तुझसे बड़ी बदबू आ रही है। मुझे भगाना बंद कर और कहीं जल्दी से पानी ढूंढ। अब इसकी बदबू मुझे बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रही है। मिल गया पानी। कहाँ है पानी? कहाँ है पानी? मेरे साथ भाग।
अरे चिंकी, पुलिस और डॉक्टर तो भाग गए। लगता है अब हम इंजेक्शन से बच जाएंगे। नहीं नहीं चिंटू, जब तक वो दोनों गांव से चले नहीं जाते हैं तब तक हम यहीं रहते हैं, कलुआ के छत पर।
अब जाके थोड़ा सा अच्छा लग रहा है। बड़ा ही बदबूदार पोटी था उसका। पता नहीं वो कमीना कितने दिन से हगा नहीं था। मैं तो सांस भी नहीं ले पा रहा था डॉक्टर। अब बस बहुत हो गया। अब किसी भी तरह से उस पागल बाबू को डेंगू का टीका लगाना ही पड़ेगा, और चिंटू और चिंकी को भी। तो चलो इंजेक्शन लगाते हैं।
अरे चिंकी, वो देख, पुलिस और डॉक्टर गांव में दोबारा आ गए। मुझे तो लगता है कि वो दोनों हमें ही खोज रहे हैं।
अरे ओ पागल बाबू, चल जल्दी पेड़ पर से उतरकर नीचे आ और डॉक्टर से डेंगू का टीका लगवा।
मैं नहीं उतरूंगा, मुझे इंजेक्शन से बहुत डर लगता है।
चल जल्दी उतर जा वहाँ से, नहीं तो मैं वहीं आकर टीका लगा दूंगा।
मैं नहीं आऊंगा।
तो ठीक है। अबे पुलिसवा, तू चढ़ जा पेड़ पर और उसे पकड़कर नीचे ला। नहीं, मैं नहीं चढ़ूंगा। कहीं गिर गया तो? जल्दी चढ़, नहीं तो ये इंजेक्शन तुझे ही लगा दूंगा। नहीं नहीं, इंजेक्शन मत लगाना, चढ़ता हूँ।
पुलिस तो पेड़ पे ही नहीं चढ़ पा रहा है।
तू कोशिश करता रह, तू जरूर चढ़ जाएगा। उसी समय से तो कोशिश ही कर रहा हूँ लेकिन चढ़ नहीं पा रहा। एक बार और कोशिश कर। ठीक है, करता हूँ। अब तुझे कोई भी नहीं बचा सकता। नहीं।
The night Detective Ace decided to quit. A child's shoe lay in the rain at the edge of the river, turning slowly in the current like it was trying to point somewhere. Ace stood under a broken streetlight, coat heavy with water, heart heavier with the old promise he had broken years ago, that he would never walk away from a missing child case again. The city hummed behind him, careless and loud, while the river whispered secrets only the patient could hear. Ace had been patient once. He had also been wrong once, and that mistake had cost a family everything. As the sirens faded and the crowd dispersed, Ace bent down, picked up the shoe, and felt the familiar ache return. He didn't know it yet, but this case would either finish him or finally forgive him. Ace was not the kind of detective people sang about. He didn't drink dramatically in dark bars or crack jokes under pressure. He listened. He noticed the pause before an answer, the way grief bent people into strange shapes. His partner years ago used to say Ace solved cases by letting silence do the talking. That partner was gone now, buried with an apology Ace never said in time. The department had changed too. New faces, faster methods, less patience. Ace felt like a relic, tolerated because he still closed cases others couldn't. This one, though, felt different. The missing child was Lena Hale, 9 years old, last seen walking home from school. No witnesses who agreed with each other. No ransom call. Just a shoe, a river, and a mother sitting on the curb with eyes that had already accepted the worst. Ace knelt beside her, not to ask questions, but to be there. "I'll bring her back," he said softly, and hated himself for how easily the words came. Days turned into nights as Ace traced Lena's steps through the city's veins, alleys that smelled of oil and bread, playgrounds echoing with laughter that felt too loud, apartment buildings where doors closed just a second too fast. He found small things others missed. A chalk drawing half-washed by rain near a bus stop, a torn library card wedged behind a bench, a shopkeeper who remembered a man buying candy he didn't seem to want. Each clue tugged at him, not toward the river, but away from it. The river, Ace realized, was a lie. Someone wanted everyone to look there. The real trail led inward, to a neighborhood squeezed by development and forgotten by city plans. Ace felt the old fire return, the one that made him believe truth could still be pulled from the dark if you were willing to sit with it long enough. The breakthrough came quietly. A security camera, overlooked because it faced a closed laundromat, showed Lena talking to a woman with kind eyes and tired hands. Not a monster, not a stranger in the way the city liked to imagine. The woman worked at a shelter that was about to be shut down. She had seen Lena crying one afternoon, had offered soup and a place to rest. No harm intended, just a series of desperate choices colliding. Ace found the shelter empty except for a blanket and a note. "I thought I was helping." The city closed in fast after that, loud and certain, ready to punish. Ace slowed them down. He found Lena hidden in a back room of a church, alive, scared, hungry, but breathing. When Ace carried her out into the light, the crowd exhaled as one. The mother collapsed into tears. The case closed on paper that night, but something inside Ace cracked open again. Not pain this time, but relief. He went home, put the child's shoe on his table, and for the first time in years, slept without dreams. The applause hadn't faded before the next call came, sharp and urgent, cutting through Ace's quiet morning like glass. A city councilman's daughter was missing, and the pressure arrived before the facts. Cameras crowded the steps. Orders flew. Ace felt the familiar tightening in his chest, the sense that truth was about to be buried under speed. As he drove to the scene, his phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "You found the wrong child first. Find the right one before it's too late." Ace's hands steadied on the wheel. Someone was playing a longer game, and Lena's case had been a door, not an ending. This time, the trail resisted him. Leads contradicted themselves. Witnesses remembered things they couldn't have seen. Evidence appeared too neatly placed. Ace felt watched, tested. He leaned back into his strength, listening. He visited the people no one else wanted to talk to. A night bus driver with a perfect memory. A janitor who worked late and saw everything. A teenage girl who spoke in riddles because she was afraid of being too clear. Slowly, a pattern emerged. The cases were connected by silence. People pressured into quiet by power, money, fear. The councilman's daughter was a message, leverage in a city that ran on invisible bargains. Ace followed the money, not with spreadsheets, but with footsteps, tracing who benefited when shelters closed, when neighborhoods were erased, when voices disappeared. The danger grew personal. Files vanished from Ace's desk. His apartment door stood open one night. Nothing stolen except the shoe. The message was clear. Ace didn't back down. He met the woman from the shelter again, now in custody, and listened as she cried. Not for herself, but for all the children she couldn't save. "They don't see us," she said. "They only see what they want." Ace carried those words with him into the councilman's glass office, where reflections multiplied and truth bent easily. He laid out the story, not as an accusation, but as a mirror. The deals, the threats, the child hidden to force a vote. The room went quiet. Silence did the talking. The rescue came at dawn, in a warehouse waiting to be turned into luxury apartments. The girl was found unharmed, guarded by men who believed money would protect them from consequences. It didn't. When Ace walked out into the morning light, he felt older and lighter at the same time. The city would spin this story, polish it, forget the edges. But something real had shifted. The shelter reopened under new funding. A bus route was restored. Small wins, fragile but alive. Ace placed the shoe back in its box and returned it to Lena's family, not as evidence, but as a reminder of how close they had come to losing everything, and how they hadn't. Ace didn't quit. He also didn't pretend the city was fixed. He understood now that being a detective wasn't about being the smartest person in the room or the fastest to the answer. It was about staying when leaving was easier, about listening when noise tried to drown out the truth, about choosing compassion even when justice felt cold. On his way to work one evening, Ace passed the river. The water moved on, carrying secrets and reflections alike. Ace nodded once, a quiet promise renewed. In a city full of shadows, he would keep choosing to see.